So right now on your computer you can set up everything you need to learn how to code. And just, all it takes is the time and the drive to do it. So I got really interested in learning, the front end development portion. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Did you steer him towards the type of coding you were going to need for PostFilm?
I'm so free form. I'm just like, do what feels good, man. That's the advice I got when I was growing up. So I'm like, follow your rainbow dream, to the path of gold. I wasn't thinking like, oh man, yeah, we could totally exploit this into like making PostFilm even better. It just happened to work out that way, which was great for me.
And we found, done some work for her clients and found that everyone was using WordPress pretty much. So that became our, or at least my focus at that point. So, if I'm going to help you with WordPress, I really need to know WordPress. I need to learn PHP for that. So that's so I started learning PHP, and that's the journey we took there. And now we're basically a WordPress shop. Our front end portions is just what everyone's using. So.
I think it's important to note too, like for people like listening to this or whatever, like thinking about their own careers, like sometimes you fall into it and then you have to, like when you get to a certain point in your business ownership, you have to like pull back and take stock of everything that has happened over the last few years and then develop the right ways to speak about yourself and the right, presenting yourself the right way. And that's where we are right now with it. So we've done this startup journey where, Jared's joined the team, and then I've been like, great, I have clients asking for that, please take over. And then it was kind of like, well, how do we work together? And then developing that skill. And now we're at a point in our business where we're smart enough and fast enough and, good enough at what we do that we're looking to create some, like actually sit down and be like, this is the plan. This is exactly like this is what we're for real, guys. This time is for real. Actually like putting some thought into these things. I mean, it's not like when you're in a startup situation, I'm sure you probably experienced this, but like when you're going a mile a minute, like shit's just dropping off of you, and you're like, okay, I'll pick that up when I have time, and then you don't have time. So. Right now, we're actually taking the time to be like, what fell off the wagon? How do we put it back together? Let's make a plan and go forward with that.
No one's got perfect forethought on all of the things you're going to need to offer or what people are even going to want from you necessarily. So, we've had a couple of false starts on things where we thought, maybe this will be the thing that people want and no one cares.
You were like, I don't want that. I'm like, man.
But, we find our clients really want this. Well, let's offer that. Why are we not? And
so it's within our skill set, and that standard we're talking about, that's in our wheelhouse. We've developed skills to do that. There's no reason we shouldn't be doing that. If that's what the market wants, that's what the market demands, we have that skill set to fulfill that. Why not? Instead of bringing a product to the market and being like, here it is, and everyone's like, I don't care about that. You can't force things sometimes. Sometimes you have to be in it long enough to know what people need from you and provide that experience for them. I mean, if you're doing a client-based sort of, and then isn't everything almost always client-based? I don't know. Yeah, there's very few businesses that are just...
Someone's got to pay you, right?
Someone's got to...
and that was going to lead to my next question. So what do you do, Jared, for fun now? What are your hobbies?
Do we do anything for fun?
So, I'm still really into music. I really love, listening to music. Really love reading still. So, we have a Saturday where we don't have work to do. We usually go to the library, pick up a few books.
Yeah, believe it or not,
go buy the
physical books, real books at a place.
Yeah, go by the record store, and then I play a lot of video games too.
What systems do you have?
I mostly PC.
Okay.
I have a 3DS I use every once in a while.
We kind of fell in love over a video game. Like I never played video games, and so we reconnected on Twitter after college, and I was like, hey, how's it going, or whatever, and he sent me like something we went into like this conversation or whatever, and something was like, you sent me Plants vs. Zombies. Because I was so out of my mind and stressed. I was like trying to do all these things, and I was trying to figure out where I was going to go next with my career and all that kind of stuff. And you sent me Plants vs. Zombies, and I was like, this guy's could be cool. He could be all right. Okay. know?
All right. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you do for fun, Elle?
I actually can't stop making things. And so instead of making things that I can sell, I've purposely not made things that I can sell. So now I'm really into making like a stuff for the house or DIYing stuff or growing a plant and not killing it. Like that's a great accomplishment for me. Herbs, you know, like looking up things like how do you actually plant something so it doesn't die, you know, like actually like figuring out how things work. So I'm actually really interested in like, you know, DIYing like homemade soaps. Like how do you do it without exploding your house, you know, like and I constantly am asking Jared questions like, hey, have you ever made pudding but not from a packet? And it's like the like little weird things like that, like things I know I cannot purposely sell because if I can sell it, I will. So I cannot sell pudding. Let's make that. Like, how do we make it?
I bet we could sell pudding.
Oh, it'd be so gross though. Like start a website, you know, like selling pudding. That'd be so nasty. How would you even ship that in bags?
Gourmet,
right? In Ziploc bags.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the branding.
The branding, the packaging, the labels.
Yeah, the packaging will be one clear Ziploc bag with like a Sharpie, like made on 7/25. Eat immediately.
Keep refrigerated.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, have you ever made pudding? Not from a. Neither had I. I was like, how do you even make this stuff?
I haven't. You know, I haven't done anything from scratch forever.
Yeah.
And I imagine that nowadays to do that, it's like your house has to be full of all types of knickknacks and things that you can use for these stuff.
Like a mini easy bake oven and like.
Yeah, you definitely need. Yeah, you're gonna need. Measuring tools and things.
Yeah.
My mother, she loves to knit, so she has like yarn forever. She has needles and different types and styles and whatever, and collections of knitted things, and she trades them, and she has old ladies that she goes to visit and hang out
awesome.
with, and so on. And it's like
so she can like make clothes. That's so cool.
Makes blankets.
Yeah,
I have several. That she's made me through the years and so on, and what do you call it? Scarves and hats and gloves and
that's cool. There's nothing quite like getting something handmade from someone that you love a lot. My mom, she made every dress I ever went to prom in and all this other stuff, and that I always cherish that experience. My mom was always able to like hem my pants because my legs are super short. I know you can't see me, but my legs are really short. So that was very helpful to have a mom that could like say, "Oh, you need 16 inches cut off these pants."
Wow.
Yeah, or whatever.
But that's the way things used to be, right? You used to make the stuff on your own.
Yeah.
And so on, and now it's DIY.
Yeah.
And but it feels like, oh man, if you want, you have to focus on the type of things you want to create. Because if you want to do different stuff, it's going to be a different piles of things you're going to have to keep around.
My friend said something hilarious recently. He was like, "Yeah, you should totally buy $90 worth of supplies to make a $5 craft." Like,
right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
I'm totally right there, though. I'm like, oh, I should get all these things and then make something that's literally costs $5 to actually purchase. But it's the act of making it.
Of course.
So,
the experience and knowing that this was something that you made with your own hands.
Yeah.
You get
no
to
matter
keep it
how
forever.
horrible it turned out.
And you know, the $5 it could have cost you at the store, that's $5 that were exploited out of the world.
Sure.
Somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
It should have, people who made it should have been paid a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I think that the hobby question is a good one too, because it's mostly like, you know, how do you view the world and like what ways are you like critically thinking about things and like what do you enjoy, and like I'm always constantly asking like how can I make this? Yeah. Can I even make it? Like I looked up like after the pudding question, I was like, can we make marshmallows? And I looked up a recipe and was like, hell no, I'm not. I'm just gonna buy that on. I'm gonna buy it because it was terrible. It wasn't it like, you know, sprinkle magic across the pot.
There's a lot of steps to making marshmallows.
If it's got more than 20 steps, I'm not gonna do it.
Wow.
Like it was crazy. Yeah. And there's got to be temperatures and a lot of stirring and no.
And it's a lot harder. If you're gonna do it the way that with the ingredients that the way is you buy it in the store, you need chemical labs and stuff to create
$90 for $5 worth of marshmallows. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
So, a couple last questions,
sure.
and then we'll be done. Okay, I promise.
You gotta probably cut down this podcast. Or like,
I leave it all as it is.
All right, nice.
I just take out little parts, you know, that interruptions and things. PostFilm, where does that name come from? Who came up with that idea? What's it mean?
Me, yeah, you're the only one that ever asked about that. We've actually had a lot of talks about this, like, because we're going through that whole experience of, like, revamping the business. Should we change the name? Should we keep it? We've decided to keep it for now, but PostFilm was it's like my life after college. Like, film was my world, and this is everything I've ever done after that, and that's how it actually came up, the legit story of how I came up with that name. Now it doesn't mean anything. Now it's just a word that I was able to trademark, and no one else wants it, but it's definitely mine forever. Sure. So yeah. So I mean, we've talked about that quite a bit. Like, does this name fit with what we do now? You know, stuff like that. But I mean, no one's ever really, besides you, has really asked us about it. So,
and your clients never really not said anything that makes you question the validity of your name and how it feels, right?
Little things like, you know, breaking it into 2 words.
Right,
PostFilm, where it's really just one word of PostFilm. You know, so there's some branding and continuity there that we have to get across so that, you know, it's being used correctly, basically. That's the only problem I think we found.
I don't dislike it at all. I think that's pretty good. I think it's good.
I mean, we do have to be careful when we're, like, you know, we've noticed over the last couple of years, because we haven't been consistent with our own branding, because, you know, the cobbler's children, they don't have shoes, and we're like the cobbler's children. I've noticed that people are like, oh, so you're a such and such company. Like, they make assumptions based on that name. So
I need a video done.
Right. You know? And the best way that we've battled against that is by being consistent about, like, saying design or branding or whatever. And people get it instantly, and no one ever questions it.
Well, I looked at your Instagram, and I saw it that very specific. You have picture about the products that you're companies that you're working with. And I think that's
trying to be consistent. Less pizza, more more work.
So it's a situation where it's not clear from the name, but all of our visual representations of it are, I think, pretty clear. So.
And I'm a big believer in that you promote the service that you provide before the name. Anyway.
Exactly.
So the name becomes just how you write the check. You know, more so than
especially for, we're not Coca-Cola, you know.
So. Right. And if it was Elizabeth Atkins' branding company, you know, you wouldn't know if it was just Elizabeth Atkins that what we did either. So,
right, exactly, But that, I mean, that's been a long haul conversation, because, like, you know, in lean times, we're always like, God, is it the name? You know? Like, you know, it's got to be the name that's screwing us up. It's like, oh my God, you know, it's like any little thing. And if it wasn't the name, it'd be something else. Like, God, is it the way that we smell or something? You know, like, what's going on? So,
You go by fine tooth combing everything, your catchphrases and everything.
Absolutely,
So the last question is, how do we get in touch with you? What are the ways? Please
come and talk to us on Twitter. That's our favorite platform, and it's PostFilm Design. PostFilm Design, one word. That's the best place. We're really huge into conversations and talking to people. Like, if we can help you out, we are into that. If you have questions, we're down to answer. If you just want to do a digital high five, we can give you a low five on the rebound, like all that good stuff. Like, we're really, really into Twitter. Like, I love Twitter. Twitter is amazing. The second platform is Instagram, the one that you saw. Like, that's a great work in progress. So if you're really into, like, visuals and just checking out what other artists are doing, that's what we use it for. Like, work in progress stuff, stuff that clients approve, stuff that they don't approve, things that we think are good. And then after that, it's just our website, postfilmdesign.com. You know, like, that's a great place for us to, we're showcasing stuff there, but we're planning on doing a nice revamp, so we're hoping to do some cool stuff with it in the next couple of months, so it could be really cool to visit again later on. But yeah, Twitter for sure. Come and hang out with us there. Absolutely.
Send us feedback to dtm@artistking.org and subscribe to the Artist King podcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker.com, or ArtistKingArchive.com. This has been your Artist King podcast, and I am DTM of DeltaTangoMike.com, telling you to get out and learn so you can earn. Let go of the starving artist title and move into the thriving artist art life. See you next week.